Hello everyone, unusual video today in order to announce something which happened yesterday at around 6 a.m. Central European time. I received the following message from Ronan telling me that he found the perfect solution for Matomo Analytics. This is really a great news because with Ronan we worked some years ago on the development of different plugins, AI plugins for Matomo, so including Mistral AI and ChatGPT. And the issue that we had at that time with those AI is that they weren't linked with Matomo itself. It was more like a custom agent using the API of Mistral or ChatGPT, which could answer to questions about web analytics and help you configuring Matomo in general, but without the context of your data. And if you wanted to get the context of your data, those were just small buttons over here which were making a HTTP request and then using the data in context in order to give you pieces of advice. And what happened is like a week ago, Ronan Hello, Openmost, contacting me in order to say, hey Ronan, have you ever heard of MCP at all? So I didn't know what Model Context Protocol is about. So what are Model Context Protocol? This is an open standard in order, let's say, to discuss with data sources. So to say, it's kind of the future, and at least for me. And the good thing is that this is a standard which is getting supported by the major AI providers, including OpenAI, DeepMind, and many others. Okay. If you look at videos about it on YouTube for Google Analytics, for example, you will see that it looks like this, and this is exactly what Openmost will show. So this is for Google Analytics. So typically you install what we call a server, and this server will have an AI on it. And the AI, you query it, you ask it things, and in fact it's going to discuss with the database, so to say here GA4, in order to deliver you exactly what you want. So if you ask for a nice and customized dashboard, it's going to create a nice and customized dashboard based on the data extracted from the API. How is Ronan Hello work different from this one? Well, in fact, in order to make this association between the server and Matomo, you need to understand how the API of Matomo is working, which is a good thing because Ronan Hello worked over the last months in order to create different tools for his own clients. And the good news is that within those tools, he had exactly this documentation which was needed for this MCP system, to be able to understand what it is about. And this is it. So yesterday at 6 p.m., Ronan Hello succeeded in making it work, so creating an app on a server which is able to discuss directly with Matomo Analytics and be able to deliver exactly what we want. And it's totally crazy. So here we don't really see the prompt which is entered by Ronan. But what Ronan is currently asking to the server, he invited us to his personal keynote this morning, that you can now ask to Matomo, check the configuration of my Matomo. Is it good or is it not? Then according to let's say the result that you're going to get from this, you can as well, so you will get a grade, for example, and you can as well ask to your AI. Okay, so here the AI used this Claude, but in fact it could be any other AI agent. And then it's going to give you the grade, and then you can say, okay, then configure it better. And then the AI is going to take the control of your Matomo and is going to change the configuration in order to reach a level that the AI consider is acceptable. And that's exactly the same thing for everything within Matomo. So you can you can automate everything that you want. So for example, you can ask it to define and implement a measurement plan. So it's going to create the tags, it's going to create the trigger, it's going to create the variable. It's going to even publish it for you if you want it to be published. You can ask it to create infographics, and the craziest part over here is like this MCP server is able as well to be linked with other third-party services. So you can just say, okay, create me a nice dashboard which will tell me about my business, and then send me this dashboard by email, and it will, because you will then be able to use other services such as Gmail, for example. It can do almost everything, creating a PPT presentation including the KPI which have been extracted from Matomo. It can do everything. So it's like the web analytics world is gonna totally change, because what would have been requested to a web agency some years ago at rates which may be super high, for example, can now be achieved in just, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes, just the time for the different action to be executed. And so as a custom GPT or other, you see in fact in action the different codes which are getting executed one by one. You see it here in the background, and this is all the magic. You can check in fact if the AI is going wrong. To be honest with you, the keynote that Ronan did with us was 40 minutes long. The only mistake, or at least the only way that the AI got wrong, was because the AI didn't have the access. Like it was only super user who could perform those actions. For the rest, he performed something like 10 random prompts. Some of them were basic, some of them were super advanced, and all of them succeeded. So in the very near future, in fact, honestly, the same work of a web agency or a consultant could be summed up to a list of maybe 10 prompts, something similar. And the good news is that it works for Matomo. What are the next? What are the other big news that I can announce you is that you can definitely create custom reports with this. So based on the live data, you can as well create things that you couldn't do within Matomo. So for example, of course, calculated metrics, adding data from third party, having attractive, let's say, reports. You can achieve everything. Okay, so it's totally a game changer. It all relies on the documentation of the API. And when it comes to when will you personally be able to use this tool, well, so far the only one that I have seen this tool from is from Ronan Hello. The magical word behind is the MCP. And in addition to that, we have as well to acknowledge that this job could not have been started if we would not have found another Matomo passionate. So we didn't find his first name and family name, we just found this project. If you just type Matomo MCP, you will find it within the first result on GitHub. So someone leave some source code over there so that we can have a look at it and see the, let's say, initial project, how to get it started when it comes to MCP. And that's it. So what's next? Probably in some minutes from now, you will find on LinkedIn the full video released by Ronan Hello with all the different use cases about his tool. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.